Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's the top delinquent, chapter 49, and this one is titled Dope Principal to the Rescue. Yay! You exclaimed excitedly. I get to set up my lounge! Iida smiled to himself as he watched you bounce away. Then he turned his attention back to the bed base and crouched down to have a look at the instruction pictures closely. By now you had finished setting up the lounge area and had put the TV cabinet at one end and the new lounge at the other with a small table beside it. Looks okay, you thought as you stood back to check your handiwork. Hey Tenya, you called, placing your hands on your hips proudly. Come and see my work. You heard something fall in the bedroom and you looked down the hall, then let your arms fall to your side and called out to him again as you headed towards the sound. Tenya? Yes, Yin, his reply came, followed by another bang. What are you doing? You asked as you walked into the room, to find him with the bed frame around his waist and tools in his one good hand. Well, he started, chopping his arm in an erratic and stiff manner. I was having slight difficulty making up the bed frame and with one arm, and so popped it against my body to support it while I was putting the bars in and screwing them down, but now... You're stuck, he offered with a laugh, your laugh starting out as a small chuckle and growing until you were outrightly cackling at his misfortune. May I have some assistance, please? He asked politely, a little embarrassed at having trapped himself in your bed frame. No, you chuckled cheekily. Now I have to stay here forever. You are my bed now. Yin, please, he asked again, turning around with the bed frame around his middle and bumping into one of your boxes of stuff. Okay, don't move, please, you said, still unable to stop laughing. You walked over and took the tools from his hand, and then followed his instructions to help get him out. Once you had gotten the bar loose enough for him to escape, you lowered the bed frame to the ground and helped him step out of it. Go and sit in the lounge, you said with another laugh. I'll take it from here. Iida nodded sheepishly and left to get a drink of water, and you continued on making your bed frame, and then lugging your mattress on top. Done, you called out once you'd finished. Come and see. Iida came back into the room and smiled as you gestured grandly towards the bed. Ta-da! You announced brightly. A very well done job, Yin, he said proudly. I am most impressed. I am amazed. I can make bed. Me smart. Me make bed, you said. It's pretty comfy too. I've tried it. You turned back to it and then jumped up onto it and sprawled out with your head turned to look at him. Ah, home sweet home, you sighed with a smile. Thank you for getting me this far in life. We have a long way to go together, he replied with a smile. A soft moment was shared between you two as he stood at your bedroom door and you lay on your bed. Yin, I suppose I should go home. I have been missing since early yesterday morning, and although I notified my parents of my whereabouts, they will most definitely be wondering where I am. True, you replied, getting up off the bed and walking over to hug him. Thank you for all you've done. You are always welcome, he said, kissing the top of your head. Last exchanges were made, and then he headed home, leaving you in your apartment, alone, with a heap of boxes to unpack and wrapping paper from the furniture everywhere. You had been so busy working that day that you hadn't even stopped to eat, not that there was anything in the cupboards anyway, and your stomach suddenly growled, letting you know that it was starving. Ugh, food. Maybe I could order takeaway or something? You grabbed for your phone on the bench, and was about to start looking for takeaway places in the area when there was a knock at your door. Yeah, you called. It's just me, the voice of Mrs. Craig said from the other side. I have food. Food! You yelled, placing your phone down and quickly running to the door, then yanking it open. I know you've been busy unpacking today, and I figured that you would need something to eat, she said with a smile, looking over her glasses at you. Oh, you're a godsend, you said gratefully. Come in. The house looks like how my life is right now, but whatever, you said flippantly, leading her in. Mrs. Craig placed the dish that she had made down on the bench and then looked around. Have you unpacked plates? It's okay if not, I can duck next door and grab some of my own. Plates, you mumbled, looking around in the boxes present and trying to guess which would have plates in them. I'll be back with plates, the older lady said quickly with a chuckle, ducking out of the kitchen and taking off down the hall, then returning quickly from her place with plates and cutlery. Thanks, he said with a smile. I remembered when we moved in next door it was a nightmare, she said with a small chuckle as she pulled the foil back off the dish that she'd bought. Oh my god, mac and cheese, you groaned excitedly. I love mac and cheese. I'll be very honest with you, it's the only dish I can make, Mrs. Craig laughed. I doubt that. I bet your mum always had you in the kitchen handing down her recipes, you said as you walked over and accepted a bowl of mac and cheese from her outstretched hand. Never judge a book by its cover, Mrs. Craig said wisely, and twisted back to grab you a spoon. As she turned, her shirt rose up a little and you caught sight of her tattoo. Holy! You yelled, which startled her. Do you have a tattoo? Language, Yin, and yes I do. Therefore, I urge again, don't judge a book by its cover. Wait, you said dubiously. So what's your story then? I get a feeling that you've got a tale to tell. Indeed I do, Yin. You and I are more similar than you realise, she said knowingly. What's your story? You asked curiously, taking a big mouthful of the hot, cheesy goodness. Come and sit down to eat, she said, gesturing to your new lounge. And there ends chapter 49. Stay tuned for chapter 50 coming tomorrow.